that always the game plan, or is that just how it worked out?
Just kind of how it worked out. You know, I never go into a fight with like a super strict game plan. I go in there and just go off how I feel and what I feel needs to be done. You know, if I need to pick it up, slow it down, because I may get in there like we talked before the fight and feel like I have to do exactly this one thing, but the fight may not call for that. So I got in there and felt like just, you know, picking up the pace, picking up my punch output, and yeah, worked out.
You dropped him twice early in the fight. Do you think your power surprised him a little bit? Because he kind of had like an embarrassed kind of look on his face, like it's supposed to be the other way around. I'm supposed to be knocking him down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it did. I think it surprised him. We had worked on a lot of things this camp, a lot of strength stuff, a lot of power, a lot of, you know, more punch output, things of that nature. And I told you guys it would show January 13th. So
a lot of people say once you win a title, you improve like dramatically after. This was your first 12-round fight.
Second 12. Yeah, with Porky.
But do you feel that way? Like just from this experience against another top-level fighter, it's going to make you better in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, like everyone said, he's a boogeyman. And for me to come off a year layoff, no tune-up fight, broke hand, coming off surgery, and jump right in there and take it from the boogeyman of the division, you know, I definitely just going to bring experience, it's going to bring wisdom, you know, it's going to help me a lot of different ways. So, yeah, excited to see what's next.
Hardest question you'll probably get, what was more satisfying, winning the title or getting engaged?
One couldn't come without the other first. So they both played major parts in the night, but that night was only going to go one way. I already had my plans made. That night was only going to go one way. So me getting the win, and her becoming and the new too. So
can you put into words what that feeling's like to want that for so long and to finally get it?
Yeah, I mean, it was, as you've seen when they announced and the new, it was overwhelming, just as I said it would be. A life's work coming down to one moment. 17 years straight in the sport. Ups, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. A lot of, you know, had to take a lot of stops along the way. But I always kept my eyes on the prize. I never quit believing in me and my dream. And we got the job done in impressive fashion. I mean, it was hands down. I boxed, I banged, I fought on the inside, I fought on the outside. I showed good offense, good defense, good power. I showed I got a good chin. I showed how I deal with adversity when I caught the headbutt in the 4th round. Right. I didn't clock out after I got the headbutt and I started bleeding. As a matter of fact, shortly after is when I dropped him. A second time, even harder. So it shows that I'm not easily brought out of focus. You know, I showed everything. So.
Right after the fight, I know obviously everybody, as usual, they want to start asking who's next, you know, Benavidez, this person, that person. Is that frustrating to not get an opportunity to, you know, just kind of let it all soak in?
Yeah, I mean, it took it so long to get there, and it took so much to get, and then not even 5 minutes out of the ring, they want to know what's next. And I even told them, I said, I'm not, you know, I answered a few people of what could be down the road. But then I just started to tell people, look, I just earned this. I'm not worried about that right now. I just want to soak in this moment and embrace it. So.
Have you soaked in the moment yet, or is it still surreal to you?
It hasn't set in yet all the way. It was by no means surprising. I told you guys before. I've been telling you guys. So it wasn't surprising, but at the same time, it's still surreal. I just set in yet. I think it may take a little time. Maybe with some of the activities that are going on today with you guys and the press and the people, and then this weekend's fight, you know, people coming up, maybe it'll make it a little more real.
Uzcategui, after the fight, you guys had like some pushing and stuff at the weigh-in, but you seemed like he had a lot of respect for you, and you said you were the better fighter that night. What did you just think of him after the fight, after going 12 rounds with him?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of respect for him and his coach. I knew he would, as I said before the fight, he's rough, he's rugged. I know he's going to come to win. But 2 kings can't live under one roof, you know, and there was no way I was coming out of that ring alive without that belt.
And him and his team, they were talking about after, actually we just talked to someone saying that they want to rematch this and that. You don't have to give them one, obviously, that you were mandatory. Is that something you want, or do you want to try something different and then maybe look at that down the road, or what have you thought about?
You know, I haven't thought it all the way through yet. There's a lot of options about coming about. A lot of people in the 168-pound division, probably the hottest the super middleweight division's ever been, with all the names that are in it and everything that's going on. So right now I'm just going to enjoy this time, and I'm sure whatever's next, it'll be nice. I've clearly shown I'm not scared to fight anybody. Like, as I said, I haven't fought in a year, coming off a broke hand, and who do I step up and fight? You don't see many people doing that these days. You see people playing it safe. I didn't take the safe route to get here, and I'm not going to take the safe route to stay here.
That being said, after going 12 rounds with him, would it be even easier now that you know exactly what he does in there? Obviously, you both will make adjustments, but
usually the better boxer makes things easier in the rematch. So yeah, I believe it would be even easier. So I knew what he was going to do going into that fight, and now I'll just be that much more prepared. So.
How satisfying was it to prove a lot of people wrong? Because you came in that fight like a 3-1 underdog, and a lot of people knew that it was more like a 50-50 fight. But when it was all said and done, did you feel like, all right, you guys should know now, like, stop doubting?
I feel like a lot of the boxing heads, they knew it was going to be a closer fight than what some of what we call casuals, or the bookies and stuff were calling it. But it felt good, like that's one of my favorite things, proving people wrong. I've been doing it my whole life. If you even through the amateur tournaments, people, they didn't expect me to do what I was going to come in and do, and then I do it, and I just look at them like, what's next? So yeah, it was exciting. It was a good feeling.
Does it get a little bit different now that you may be the favorite heading in the fights and people aren't doubting you anymore?
I had been that in every fight before this one. A lot of people said Porky was going to knock me out, but most people knew I was going to win that easy. So I've been the B side throughout my whole life. I've been the A side throughout my whole professional boxing career. So whichever, it don't matter who's A and B. The A side is who gets the hand raised at the end. Back sometime in February. Got to get my belt. Got to take it to elite, like I said. So be a couple weeks.
What do you expect that particular moment to be like? Because you've been talking about this since you started.
Yeah. Something special, something that we set out to do, something I set out to do at 9 years old, but something me and Leah set out together to do together quite a while ago, and yeah, it'll be something special just to bring her a belt like I said I would.
What does it mean for the city also?
Man, I hope it means a lot. So far we've got a lot of great feedback, the city's going crazy. So I think it's a big deal. They soaking it up.
What do you think is actually the biggest fight for you at 168? There's Canelo, there's a lot of names there.
I think the fight that other people want the most, I don't know actually. Like you said, Canelo, that's a big fight. There's a handful of big fights out there, so.
No preference?
It don't matter to me. I just fought who they said the toughest one was, so everything after this,
it's gotta matter a little. It's gotta matter a little. The biggest payday, just a little bit, no?
I mean, Canelo, that'd probably be the biggest payday, but I'm just taking it all in right now, I don't mind fighting any of them. That's Canelo, that's the fight we want. Benavidez, that's the fight we want. Callum, that's the fight we want. So.
Do you feel like, just after the fight was over, maybe checking out social media and stuff like that, do you feel like you're getting the credit that you deserve for the performance? I mean, like you said, you were coming off of an injury and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone, it was hands down. It's not like it was close. You know what I'm saying? 8 rounds in, I was 10 rounds ahead. So, I had to set a high pace earlier. I set a high pace early, and I knew he came consistently throughout the fight. So at the end, we was both a little tired, but it was hands down. So I think people see that. I boxed him, I banged him. I didn't just escape with a close win. I did my thing. So yeah.
Last question for me. What is next for you? Not inside the ring, but just outside the ring. Take vacation, back in the gym.
Yeah, me and Jordan, we just got engaged, so we're probably gonna take a little trip somewhere and just kick our feet up, relax, take in the moment. Yeah.
You got a date set yet?
Date for what? You ain't
Don't
supposed
say
to
that
on
too
camera,
loud.
man. No, yeah, we're just taking our time, you know. We're young. She's got her career. She's doing a beautiful job with the reporting. You know, everything's that's supposed to be going on is going on in my career. So, you know, we're just taking it a day at a time right now.